What's up, Boogie Monsters? Welcome to Remember When, where I, Chris Boogie, reconnect with a guest and we revisit, dissect, and laugh about a time, place, or insane experience we shared together. I'm your host, Chris Boogie. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter at Chris Boogie with a Y, and on YouTube at Chris Boogie Marcos. Today, I have a special treat for you guys. I have Earl Declet. Earl is an educator, youth developer, and is passionate about helping young people become the best versions of themselves. Earl has worked with the teen population for over 10 years, helping over 300 Bay Area youth secure internships, jobs, scholarships, and admission to prestigious universities. Earl is also a bronze level USBC certified bowling coach, avid whiskey collector, aspiring barista, and commissioner of his fantasy football league of over 15 years. Earl is the citywide director of HS services for the Boys and Girls Clubs of San Francisco during the day and enjoys all things sports, food, and travel in his spare time. Earl, what is up, my brother?
What up, dude? That was an amazing intro. Thank you so much. Makes me
Dude.
sound way more interesting than what I actually am.
Dude, you're the first non actor friend on this little thing.
Fancy. Well, hopefully I don't scare all of your followers who are into acting. So I hope I don't scare them away. But we're gonna try.
Yeah, dude. So besides that, you are the one that has known me the longest. So why don't we get into it? Why don't you tell the listeners how we know each other?
Sure. Oh boy, I don't even know where to start really. I remember that you and I were friends since first grade, and we had the same first grade teacher, Miss Bradley. Shout out to Miss Bradley in Crumpton Elementary School, home of the Roadrunners. Yeah, dude. And we kind of went to elementary school together. We were in, sports teams through middle school, and then attended the same high school. So yeah, I've had the pleasure of knowing you since we were like 6. So I'm not trying to age either of us, but that's a long ass time. So
dude, that's, oh my God, first grade. You're right. That is a long ass time ago.
Yeah. And like we've been bowling together since, I don't know, dude, maybe like what, 10, 11?
Yeah.
Something like that. Probably like middle school, maybe 5th grade. And, you and I, we would travel with our families like up and down California, bowling in tournaments. And, we played high school baseball together. And yeah, we've been through a lot. And then, we both made our, kind of did our separate ways in college. You did your thing in 831 and I went down to Santa Barbara for school, but we always figured out a way to kind of connect back with each other, which was really great. And so I'm very excited to be here and be on your show, dude.
Yeah, man. I just remember one of the huge parts of our friendship is we used to talk on the phone like girls. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
Dude, we would call each other. This is when cell phones did not exist. This was on the landlines. We would call each other and just like gossip about school, girls, our friends, like for hours.
It would be, and it is funny. I hella remember this vividly of like, you remember those, I think they were VTech phones and you could buy them in like different colors. They were like orange and purple and like teal. You can kind of see through the phone. And I was like, I thought it was like such hot shit, like talking on my orange like VTech phone. And honestly, those conversations really started like when you and I were probably discussing like math homework or something like that. Like right at the beginning, we would like, let's just knock out our homework real quick. And then, we would kind of go on and talk about everything, whether it be sports or girls, or we would really like shoot the shit for like hours. We would like, I remember like you and I, we would watch like VHS like movies at the same time, and we would like I'm on this bowling thing right now, but like you and I, we would put Kingpin in at the same time, and we would like watch the scene together and be like, dude, Woody Harrelson's about to say this like hella funny ass line, just stuff like that. And that's hella crazy. You kind of like forget about that stuff, but yeah, a lot of time on the phone.
And it would always start off like we would call each other and it'd be like, "What's up?" And then it'd just be like a, and then it's like rant, and then we
Yeah,
would
yeah.
go for hours. It's like,
Dude,
here we are again.
right.
What we got today?
And it almost felt like a weekly thing, or maybe I don't know, weekly, twice a week, something like that. It
Yeah,
was
it
a,
was
it was a,
often.
yeah. It wasn't like an everyday thing, but it wasn't. Yeah, you know, it was, yeah, every 2 weeks or so. But
So because we were such close friends, like we hung out with kind of the same people,
yeah,
and I feel like I was very fortunate to like be your friend and hang out with those people because we were all very school oriented. We like
sure.
really like did our homework and like tried to do good on tests, and like fast forward to high school, we made the top 10.
Right. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Shout out top 10.
Top 10.
Nice.
I think that picture is still in the
Dude,
office.
like Seaside High School has like top tens from I don't even know how long, but yeah, they're up there. And so we're in the Hall of Fame, I guess. Academic Hall of Fame, Nerd Hall of Fame.
The Nerd Hall of Fame. So
Hall of Fame.
let's talk briefly about high school specifically, because
Mm,
when it comes to the like entertainment industry, when you think of like movies of high
yeah.
school, you think of like jocks, nerds, like cliques, groups.
Hmm. Sure.
Do you think you well, I feel like our high school didn't have those cliques, but do you think you were like in the popular crew? Like which
Mm.
crew did you kind of roll with?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I also feel like we were super lucky to go to like such a diverse school like Seaside High, and so like our very large friend group that we had was like super diverse. Everybody was hanging out with everybody. Um, but if I had to kind of like pick a group, I guess I I do think it would kind of fall into that like nerdy academic kind of group, and I'm not even saying that like in a bad way, but like we were kind of just on top of our stuff. We took like some a lot of the honors and AP classes and whatnot. Um, but I also like and you know this like we would kick it with everybody, and so like we all knew like the jocks or the athletes. Some of our best friends were a part of the cheerleading team. Other friends were in cultural clubs. I think about like Polynesian dance that was going on over at Seaside, and so like there was tons of stuff, and so it was just really cool to grow up in a school where everybody knew everybody. There really wasn't a lot of beef. Like, there wasn't. I will speak for me. There wasn't like a lot of high school drama for me, which I'm very like lucky to not have to deal with. I deal with it now, like with all my students. So I get like all the tea from like my high school students that I work with now. So I live like vicariously through them, and like get into all the team gossip with them. So
Yeah, it's interesting because like I feel like back then, I mean, maybe it's the same a little bit now, but being smart and on top of your shit was kind of cool.
yeah,
Like it was the cool thing to be. And like if you were the one flunking out of class, or like if you were burnout in high school, you kind of didn't roll around with that kind of crowd. You kind of were your own thing.
I mean, I also think like our friends were like super supportive too, and
Hmm.
like even if you didn't feel like going to class, we wouldn't like snitch or whatever. Like we would be like, hey dude, I'll cover for you or whatever. And so yeah, it was just really cool like having such a diverse group of friends, uh, and I think that really helps like down the line too, like just going on into our like adult lives or professional lives. Like we were exposed to so many different cultures, so many different types of people at that high school. Like I feel like it really set us up. Whereas a lot of people, they might live in a city or a neighborhood that might not be as diverse, and like now they have to kind of adjust, right? Or like if you live in a rural city and you go to LA or you go to San Francisco or you go to New York, and there's like this huge culture shock, right? Even though we came from like kind of like this small town, like the 831 and Monterey and Seaside, Marina, right? Those are like still like kind of a rural suburban area, but also it was like super diverse, and I feel like it just set us up like really well down the line.
So let's go back a little further. Let's go back
Sure.
to maybe like beginning of middle school. So I remember
Hmm.
you always being kind of the trendsetter and like having like a great sense of fashion and everything. Like for
Uh-huh.
example, you were the first to color your hair. You're the first to
Uh-huh.
spike your hair. You had like an afro and cornrows at some point, and like you always were like trendy and like coming up with like words that we used on a regular basis,
Hmm.
like making up word. Like where does that come from? Were you just like, did these ideas just flow into your head and you're like, maybe I should tell my friends about this?
Yeah, I sit up like super late at night just trying to like come up with words and stuff. Um, no, I don't know where it like comes from. Um, like there's this like term like steez, like there's like style with ease, and a lot of people have told me that I've like had that, and I take that as a compliment for sure. But I was always somebody who didn't want to like kind of stick to the status quo. I would always try to like challenge it a little bit. And like, yeah, I remember I had like the gold tips in middle school, and yeah, an afro in high school, like just did kind of weird stuff. Um, just because I think also as a middle school and a high school thing, you're trying to find like some level of like independence, and you're trying to like kind of stand out, right? And you're trying to make sure that yourself is, or that you're being seen. So I do think it's a little bit of like that, and that might have been my outlet as like how I deal with like teen angst and being seen, right?
Mm.
Is like just kind of doing unique things. Um, but I also feel like I wasn't trying to, impress anybody. That kind of genuinely was me. And so even as a full ass adult, still do weird stuff with my hair. Still do wear pink and purple. It don't matter. Like I'll kind of just like go against the trend altogether. And so it's kind of just been my thing, and I'm not gonna stop now. So
Like you said about dealing with teen angst, like that's such a positive way to go through it. Like I feel like when I was that young, I was still trying to find myself. I feel like I didn't really truly find myself until I was in college. But you were always that kind of person that seemed to have it figured out. And I think that's why people gravitate towards you and like want to follow you.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I really do appreciate like the compliment, and thanks for that. And like that's a lot of people have told me that, and so it's something that I kind of you know I take it to heart a little bit. And if I do have an opportunity to kind of like help people, like I'm gonna do that, right? And
Mhm.
so whether it's coaching an athlete in bowling, or in a specific sport, or if it's helping a high school student with their college application processes, um, like going through anything, or being there for when a friend is like kind of going through something, like that's always been me. And I've always try to remain humble in having those conversations. I try not to think, I don't think that I'm better than anybody else or anything like that. In fact, I have lots still to learn. And again, I appreciate the comment saying that like it kind of looks like I have everything together, and I'll be 102. I don't. And like we're all like still trying to like learn about ourselves, and kind of be the best version of ourselves too. And that's kind of like a lifelong process. But anytime that I can help out, whether it's a student, a friend, um, a family member, like I'll always make sure that I'm there as my dog drinks hella water.
I see. I feel like you landed in the perfect profession, just like helping the youth, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that you've done growing up is very selfless and for other people. because you're always trying to make sure everyone else is having a good time and like before yourself. Like, especially when I always call you like Mr. Coordinator, because you like coordinate all the events. You like, you made like the whole Alvarado loop for us for Christmas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I remember whenever you would introduce me to something like weird and you would like have me try something, you would always like watch my reaction and be smiling and be like, it's tight, right? It's tight. Like I remember specifically you had the onion bagel with the strawberry cream cheese.
Oh yeah,
And I
dude.
was
Shout
like,
out to onion bagels. Yeah.
bro, I was like, dude, this is, are you sure? And
It doesn't
just
make
try
sense on paper, but just you got to give it a shot, man. You got to try it out.
And you like would cut me off a piece and you'd just be like, right? That's such an Earl thing. Like,
right. Yeah, I mean, there is like a genuine like satisfaction or like pleasure of making sure that like the people that I care about are like having a good time or are in good spirits or like in good places. And thinking about like kind of what I do on a day to day, yeah, it's super important to me. Like I think I kind of have adopted this like kind of like life of service or like this profession of service, and working in the nonprofit field and working with youth in particular, especially young people of color. It's like super rewarding, and like my mom always told me that as long as you do something that you like genuinely enjoy, like it's not going to feel like work, right? And like I've been in the nonprofit field. I actually tried to leave the nonprofit and education field. Like I've worked in this field for 10 years, and after about like 3.5, 4 years, I thought about let me go try out like another avenue of working in sports, right? And so I moved down to Long Beach and studied sports management for my master's degree, and did that and had a blast doing it. But I still found myself gravitating towards like education and helping people. And my favorite job that I had down in LA was working at UCLA as an academic advisor for student athletes, right? So I still was like, I was doing sports stuff, but very fringy sports and like basically all education. And so sometimes you also have to do things you think you like just to find out like whether or not you really truly like them. And so yeah, I do feel like this kind of is like my calling. And so yeah, very happy to like put in the work with the youth. And again, thinking back to like your reference of like Mr. Coordinator and just like party planning and stuff like that. Again, it's the same thing with like my friends too, like, and family, just making sure that everybody's like enjoying themselves, having a good time, because that's like what's really important to me, is like making sure that we kind of like cherish the memories that we have. And checking in with friends. Like a lot of folks would look forward to like the Alvarado loop, right? No one would talk to anybody for like a year, and then but everybody would still come out in flocks to like the loop, and everybody would have a good time. And so being able to put something like that together for all of our friends back at home was really important to me. So yeah.
Dope. All right, let's pivot a little bit here.
Cool.
It wouldn't be a true high school reunion kind of thing if we didn't talk about girls and dating.
Oh boy, I was dreading this topic. Okay, let's go. I need to get up.
Yeah, go ahead. Get a
refill first, and then we'll. Okay.
All right. So growing up, especially in high school, I mean, did you date a lot? Did you have a lot of girlfriends?
I actually didn't seriously date anybody in high school. And in fact, it was more of like, again, just kind of friends with everybody. And, maybe that was like, there is a level of like, if you're gonna, I tell all my students all the time, if you're gonna do dumb stuff, like do it in high school. Like that's literally what high school is for. is to like experiment and do dumb stuff. Not saying that like dating in high school is dumb, but like, you know, that's the time to experiment and try new things. And that's just one of the things that I didn't do as much. It
Was
was,
that a choice, like a
yeah.
conscious choice?
No, nobody was into me. No, I'm just kidding. I think it was more of a conscious choice. Um, it was, I don't know, like I felt that I wasn't, um, I don't know, ready, I guess, or like it wasn't in the right headspace to really do that. And I know me personally, I don't like to half-ass things or anything. And like I feel like if I were to date somebody, I don't know, I might have like half-assed it in high
Mm.
school. And so, um, yeah, I would say it was a conscious choice.
All right, all right. I
but
always
but what?
saw it like no girl's gonna hold Earl down. He don't need no.
I mean that it's exactly what I was going for. That's exactly what was going through my head. Funny though.
If social media existed back when we were in high school, man,
I don't
imagine how
know,
different it would be.
dude. Like the conversations that I have with teens around like social media, teen dating, all this stuff is wild, dude. And I tell I tell my students this is like the one thing. Like if I want you to learn one thing from me as like a youth developer, like again, high school is the time to experiment, do whatever, right? Dabble with anything you'd like, with anybody, whatever. The one thing I tell my students is just don't date in high school. That's the only thing I tell them not to do. And the reason why I do that is like, you know, if you're 14, 15, 16, you barely know yourself. You don't even know yourself. And the person that you're dating, they don't know themselves, right? And the only point of reference that you two dating are using is probably, again, what you see on social media, or for us back in the day, it would have been, yeah, what we saw in reality TV, what was going on Jersey Shore, like what we saw like in the media, right? Or amongst celebrities. And that would be our point of reference, right? And so like you have two people who have no idea how they work or operate as an individual, and now you're going to carry all of this extra kind of like emotion trying to take care of this other person. And it's like I see a lot of teens who go through a lot of like, you know, kind of like, yeah, low-key depression, and you know, they feel a certain type of way when their friend or their partner or their boyfriend or girlfriend don't text them back, or like, you know, just random stuff like that. And it's wild, dude. So to all those
Mhm.
teens watching this channel, don't date in high school.
Write
Do
it
everything
down,
else.
guys.
Do like literally do everything else. But
All right, so let's talk about bowling, because bowling is like a huge part of our lives.
oh, this is what I've been waiting for.
So
I haven't
how
touched a bowling
long,
ball.
bro? I am like hurt. I've been watching Brad and Kyle on YouTube,
Yeah, shout out
and
Brad and Kyle. Yeah.
yeah, shout out. Dude, I miss bowling so much.
So much, dude. Like I didn't even realize like how much I loved bowling until now. Like this is for sure the longest I've ever gone without bowling.
Hmm.
Like even like when I remember I took like a small break, maybe like 1 year or maybe a summer or something like that. But this is like I need a bowl bad. I was like I thought about actually like yesterday or no, this past weekend. I was like, damn, if I just set up like some pillows like up against the door, I could like practice my release or something. I don't know. But I saw some people on like social media like doing some drills at home, and I was like, damn man, should I do this? But yeah.
Dude, you know how people like especially golfers, they just like put their hands together like
Yeah.
randomly and just do this in the
Oh
air.
yeah,
Bro,
dude.
I do the bowling swing. I'm like, "Oh,
I
maybe I
do
should
that.
like practice two hands."
Oh
Like
yeah, dude. I'm sitting there like in our garage. We have like a little gym set up, and it's got like big windows there. And yeah, middle of my workout or like when I do like leg workouts, like I kind of like imagine like if I'm doing any type of like one-legged squat type of thing, oh, it's always with like a bowling motion on it. And oh yeah, dude, all about it.
So when did you start? I know bowling runs in your family, right? So you started young, like I did.
Yeah, yeah. So I started bowling when I was probably like 8, but I also kind of like grew up in a bowling alley. So my grandparents bowled, my mom and her brother, my uncle bowled, and I'm actually named after a professional bowler. Well,
That's
I mean, I'm
right.
I'm named after 2 people. So my mom's brother, his name is Earl, and but also like kind of like the most successful PBA bowler at the time in the 70s and 80s. His name was Earl Anthony, and like my middle name is Anthony, so like I'm Earl Anthony Declet, named after the bowler. So yeah, it kind of low key like runs in the family, runs in my blood a little bit. But yeah, I've been bowling since I was 8, and grew up in a bowling alley essentially.
Dude, that's so cool. Like I you're credited with bringing me into that world of league bowling because I
Mm.
was the same. Like I bowled with my family and bowling runs in my family. But you were the one that was like, there's a spot on my team.
Yeah, man.
What's
We,
up?
we I need to recruit you. I need you in part of my squad.
But I was like so scared. Like I remember asking you so many questions about it, and you would like being the coordinator that you are. You should have been a lawyer, by the way, because you
A
convince people.
lawyer,
You convince people to
dude.
do
I
so.
did. Shout out mock trial in high school.
Oh, oh
I was
man, mock
yeah.
trial.
I was a defense lawyer in high school. Shout out mock trial.
But I remember you like low key bashing one of your teammates and being like, dude, this other guy, he's not good. So you're gonna be fine.
It was a. I may or may not have done that, but like it's it could have been one of my like recruitment strategies. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I saw that like I feel like it was one random like Sunday when like me and my dad were practicing, and we saw you and your dad and your sister practicing, and I was like, holy shit, dude, I didn't know you bowled. And then kind of from there, yeah, like, hey, let's bowl on Sundays, let's bowl this league, let's bowl this tournament. And then ever since, I don't know, that was probably like, yeah, maybe 5th grade or middle school or something like that. And then yeah, basically up until what? Yeah, until high school, the end of high school essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
We bowled tournaments, and we even bowled together like in leagues before as well. So yeah, dude, and I miss it, man. I miss it a lot.
I will say I used that strategy. I found out that one of my coworkers bowled, and I was looking for to fill a spot on my team, and I was like, dude, you want to join my team? And he was doing the same thing I did. Was like scared, used to bowl league, but didn't anymore. But I was like, dude, this guy on my team, he's not very good. So you're gonna be fine.
Tell you, man, that recruitment strategy, it works. I mean, I think that there's like this. It's weird because like nine out of 10 people think bowling is like a joke, first of all, and like you go just with your friends to drink beer and eat French fries, and like you bowl with the lights off and the strobe lights and stuff like that. And so yeah, but then for the folks who like want to get into it, or be a little bit more competitive about it, there is like this like anxiety around it, right? But I mean, we're bowling. And so I don't know, like it's fun, it's anybody can do it. Like you can be as big, as small, as as coordinated or uncoordinated, anybody can do it. And so, and that's what like I really appreciate about bowling. It's going to be something that I for sure do for the rest of my life. As long as I'm able to do it, I'm going to bowl. And so yeah, I was happy to bring you into the sport a little bit more formally. And, I also brought in a couple other friends from high school onto a bowling league, and we bowled. And then after high school, I went to UCSB and got to bowl like in college, um, for our school. And so that was really dope. Got to travel like up and down the West Coast and made a couple trips out to, we went to Vegas dozens of times. And yeah, kind of all up and down the West Coast, bowling with a lot of people who bowl on tour now. And yeah, dude, I miss it a lot.
Was there any thought ever of turning pro, or like even like attempting to join the tour?
Oh man, like I still think about that like all the time. Um, I think about like it's kind of like the time investment in it, and I'm like it's something like I'm just like hyper competitive. Um, I'm hyper competitive, but I'm also like not I don't know how to describe it, but like I want people to get involved, or I want people to like try it out. But then like when we actually like compete against each other, like I totally want to win. But um, I thought about it a lot, and I think I need to like, I have a little bit of the same anxiety that you had, right? Like when you bowling like as a junior, like I don't feel like I'm like good enough, or I need to put in more practice, or I need to like up my game a little bit more before I feel like confident and ready. But I think maybe once quarantine's all done, I just gotta not like full ass commit, but like put myself out there, right? If local or regional like high stakes tournaments are going on, or like amateur events are going on, like I think I'm gonna put myself out there a little bit more just to like test the waters and kind of see where I'm at. I mean, a lot of people who bowl in league, they're like, how come you don't bowl like more tournaments, or how come you don't bowl a little bit more professionally? And I don't know. I got to get out of my own head too. So I feel what you're feeling.
Right on, dude. That's exciting stuff though to think about.
Yeah.
When
Yeah. It would be dope. It's one of those things that you just gotta at least say that you tried it, right? You don't want to regret, like you don't want to be kind of like past your prime and try to get into the game, and when there could be a chance now to try it out. Just
right.
At least say that you did it, rather than to go your whole life and not and say that I could have done that. So
Exactly. And I feel like you have all of the tools, because it's like it's not me gassing you up or anything, but like you could compete with those guys. Like I've seen your bowling like elevate to another level, like once you got out of college, because you had that training. You're a coach now, you're a bronze level coach. So you have like all of the knowledge and all of the tools and the natural ability to do it. It's just a matter of if you want to or not. Like you said, it's going to be like a time commitment,
yeah,
a long road, an uphill battle for sure.
yeah, dude. Let's well, once these lanes open up, let's you and I go hit the lanes and see where we're at, and then and then commit a little bit.
I'm not saying I'm committing. I'm saying you.
What I'm saying, but the thing is like, I don't know if people know this either, but like you're just as good. And like,
No, I'm not. No, that's not me like self-deprecating or anything. I just know it's fact. It's factual. I'm not.
But I mean, like well, either way, we got to hit the lanes regardless. But
yes. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So speaking of college, so let's talk about college for a second. So we kind of went our separate ways in college, but we found ways to kind of stay in contact with each other, like going to each other's shows, like you were part of PCN. Yeah. Do you think you changed at all from high school to college, or did you kind of already know yourself like going into it?
Oh man, college was the best 4 years. And that's not like no diss, no shade to high school, but no, college was, I thought I knew myself, and then I didn't. And then like I got exposed, like I saw like a lot of the flaws that I needed to work through. And luckily I had like a really great group of friends, and I eventually met my wife in college, and so like I had this really great like support group to kind of like help me out through that entire process. With that being said, I still kind of put myself out there in like leadership positions within orgs on campus. I was the team captain of the bowling team for 2 years, involved in a number of organizations on campus, and so I think those things were still kind of like true to who I was even in high school. But um, I wasn't. I didn't. I had to mess up a lot, and I feel like in high school there wasn't. I didn't mess up a lot, and I think it's safe to say like our group of friends that we hung out with a lot, like we didn't mess up a lot in high school, and I'm not saying that. Well, I'll speak for myself, but like, yeah, I got exposed in college. Like I thought that I was ready to do that, and I just had like really poor like academic study habits, and like uh yeah, got caught up in the party scene and stuff like that in college. And so I had to kind of like correct those things a little bit. And so luckily I had like a really solid group of friends in college, and my wife too, to like help me like get me back on track. And but yeah, dude, college was dope.
I will say, like, from an outside perspective, like visiting you in Santa Barbara and seeing you in that setting, it seemed like you were the same Earl that left Seaside High. Like everyone was still looking to you and being like, Earl, what's the move? What's the plan? And you would have a plan for everyone. And it was so crazy, like going, because a lot of those Santa Barbara friends like became my friends because I visited
Yeah,
you so much.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it was crazy seeing you not with that familiar group of people, but still leading and still
yeah,
being like the Earl that I knew. So it was cool to like mix those two things together and see you like, yeah, I knew him from high school. Yeah, this
yeah.
this leader that you guys know, he was my leader first. He was my leader first.
That's hella wild, dude. That like you bring that up. That I haven't really like put two and two together like that, and thought about like how there is a striking similarity of like what I did in high school and what I did in college, and even what I did in grad school too, right? And so like I don't know, yeah, it's kind of like some things are kind of there for the long haul, and I think I became a better leader kind of as time goes on. But yeah, that's pretty wild, dude, that you like I never like sat down and thought about that.
But it's
So I
like
appreciate like the outside perspective.
well, like you said, like you were exposed, but I feel like you like took two steps back, but you jumped like five steps forward. You
Mm,
elevated
mhm.
yourself as a human being in college because you're putting in that setting. But
Yeah,
I'm interested because, like I said earlier, I feel like I didn't find myself until I hit college.
mhm.
I feel like I changed a lot from high school to college because my confidence level, for one, um, I went into college telling myself I can be the person that I really want to be because it's kind of
Yeah,
a fresh start. All
fresh
of my
start, man.
friends, like especially staying home, like going to CSUMB.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
Shout out,
Otters.
shout out Otters. Yeah, I was gonna say.
um, not a lot of people from our high school went to CSUMB. I think one other person went to
Yeah,
CSUMB.
maybe a
So
couple. Yeah,
no one knew me. It was a fresh start. So I took that opportunity to like really fall into the person that I wanted to be.
yeah,
What was it like for you? Because you would visit my campus too sometimes.
sure.
So you saw
Yeah,
that I was I created the hip hop organization that was on campus. Like people
yeah,
knew
dude.
me as a different name, like
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
me as Boogie, like people
That's
would call
hella
me
funny.
Boogie. Dude, like what was that like for
And I'm
you,
like,
for like from your perspective?
yeah, I was like, who the hell are you all talking about right now? And no, that's hella crazy because I had the like I mean again, I've known you since you and I were both like 6 or 7. So like when I would come home and like we would go to like your events on campus, or plays over in Salinas or in Carmel, like I felt like you took on this new, um, I don't want to say new person, but yeah, you definitely like grew as an individual. Like you took on like more leadership opportunities. You like put yourself out there more. Like the confidence level was like through the roof, right? And so, and I think, if you were to ask a lot of our high school friends, like, they might say that that wasn't there like in high school as much, but like, yeah, post high school, fresh start, everyone's like in a new space, and everyone's doing them like and being themselves unapologetically. Like that's where I really saw you kind of like blossom into this like professional and actor and performer, and I just continued to kind of just like watch you from like the stands or from the seats, right? Because I would try to work things out in my schedule so that I could attend everything, but like you would just continue to just like kind of climb the ranks and like continue to like just impress me and impress our friends, and I'm like, damn man, what the hell? Like, how is he doing all this stuff? Right? Like, how is he choreographing shows? How is he like the lead actor? How is he, starting clubs on campus and doing all this stuff? And it was just really dope because again, like I just want to see like nothing but the best for the people that I care about. And so like seeing you go on to do big things beyond, national television is pretty wild. And like I still get like nervous. Like the first time I saw you on national television, I got low key nervous watching you on TV. I was like, oh God, oh God, oh God, please don't. Not that I don't even know why I was like nervous, because I knew you were gonna be great and I didn't think you were gonna mess up or anything. But I was just like, holy shit, this is wild that like, one of my best friends is like on TV and like is so successful in LA and in Hollywood and in the scene, right? And um, the I will say that like I'm not at all surprised, right? I'm not surprised with any of this. It was more of like I'm glad that you were able to like build that confidence within yourself and put and surround yourself with people who were like supportive and helping you kind of like be the best version of yourself. um Again, you and I weren't like around, right? Or we weren't like physically with each other that often, but you're still able to kind of put people who care about you and who are there to support you through the process, and like to take you to like kind of where you're at and kind of build you up, and obviously you're at the front of that, but it's just like amazing to watch you kind of like go through all this stuff, dude. It's wild.
Thanks, man. I feel like you said an interesting thing, like you're not surprised because like we're such close friends. Like you've always knew like this the real like comfortable, confident me, but like someone that was maybe outside of our friends group,
Yeah,
I was a quiet kind of like studious. Yeah, I played sports, maybe I danced
sure.
in a couple of rallies, like, but I'm not like that outspoken dude that's like
Mhm.
that lights up a room like
Sure.
that. But I remember specifically when our when our 10-year reunion was coming up, and you're like and you're like, so you coming or what? And I was like, dude, like I don't know if I can like revisit that, go back to that person that I
Mm.
was,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
like I don't feel like I'm successful enough to go back and like be confident with those people that I
Yeah.
wasn't confident with before.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you doing your Earl thing, you're just like, dude, you've look at all the stuff that you've done. Come on, like we're all looking at you, over
Right.
social media, being like, you're doing shit. Like, come
Uh-huh.
on, like sack up, basically.
I mean, high school does that to you, right? High school like creates that level of uncertainty, or like you kind of think back to your high school years, and they can either be like glory years for some people, or like the best years of their lives, and other people are like, wow, I did not see that one coming from that person after high school. And like to go back to a high school reunion, yeah, it's got a like low key, I'm making it maybe sound like more crazy than it is, but it's like low key traumatic, right? Like it's bringing you back to like those experiences that you had, whether they're positive, negative, or a little bit of both, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a completely valid feeling, going in there and being like, bruh, I don't know if I've, because maybe that's how you felt like in high school, right? And like we're going to see all these people that we only have these experiences with in high school, and you're like, damn, man, like I don't know if I have. But I think, once high school is done and everyone kind of does their own thing, it is like a fresh start for everybody. And so I'm really glad that you came out. And I don't know. I had to do my bowling motivational, like, come on, dude, let's go. Let's but like uh yeah. And we go to the reunion, and everyone is like asking you like what's going on in LA, how are shows, how are gigs, like people asking about how do I get involved in the scene, and like all of those conversations where it's like, yeah, sometimes we like look assume kind of the worst about a situation, but like sometimes you just got to go in and see what happens. But
Yeah, and I will say, like hella years later, I was still scared going into that whole experience, but it took a combination of people like not saying that I needed validation or anything, but people saying that they saw me in things.
yeah,
And that combined with the comfortability with like you and some of our other friends being there, and just kind of reminding me like, dude, it's just us. Like
yeah,
we're still the same people. Basically, we're just an evolved form of ourselves. Like
right,
it's not like
right.
we changed. So
Hmm.
it took a lot to get me there. So thanks. That ended up being a really fun night.
Yeah, dude, that was a hell of fun. I feel like we all got shit faced, but it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that video of you, me, and Josh Daniel just like being the only one on the dance floor and just like
Yeah.
acting a fool.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go into a little segment called "Getting to Know You."
Okay.
All right, I feel like I know some of these answers already for you, but all of this is like rapid fire, this or that, fill in the blank. And
All right.
yeah,
Let me get one quick refill.
yeah, do that thing. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
What's on your pizza?
Ooh, arugula, pepperoni, black olive, mushroom, lots of garlic. I think I'm thinking about what I order at Mod Pizza. You know, like when you go to Mod Pizza, you just put hella broccoli.
Wait. So unlimited. Okay.
Yeah, you said I could put how much on each, so I just put hella. Yeah, yeah. If I had to pick like three, kind of like three random toppings, yeah, arugula, black olive, and garlic.
Nice,
Yeah.
fancy. Favorite alcoholic beverage?
Ooh, right now I'm on this bourbon hype right now. Drinking a lot of whiskey and bourbon and scotch. So, well, not as much scotch, whiskey and bourbon right now.
Nice. Backstreet Boys or In Sync?
I gotta go in sync.
Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers?
Ooh, Power Rangers. Yeah, Power Rangers.
Something no one knows about you.
Something no one knows about me. Oh boy. I have like this crazy phobia of playing video games. Like if I'm playing the character and they're underwater, like I can't play the video game. Like I get really, really like I can't play it because I feel like I'm gonna like I don't know. Like I feel like I'm responsible for that person, and like if there's big like fish or sharks or like any type of like sea animal, I fucking freak out, dude. Like I can't even look at the screen.
Really? Is that a phobia of the like drowning, or is it just
Well,
specifically
yeah. I
video
mean,
games?
well, I can't swim, so that's one thing that other people don't know about me, um, or that other people don't know. Partially that, but like I don't know, dude. It's weird, but like
Like
there was like
you don't get freaked out when you go to like the aquarium or anything like that, do you?
no. I mean, I haven't been to the aquarium in a while, so I haven't seen like a big ass shark like in person for a while. But no, I don't think I freak out at aquarium. I actually like aquariums, but like it's a video game fish and sharks that fucking freak me out, dude. Like I was like low key traumatized. Like if we were playing like Super Mario 64 and we were like in Jolly Roger Bay and like you remember like that pink ass eel that was in
Yeah.
the yeah, and you have to like swim under it and he has to pop out. Like I legit cannot play that video game. Well, I can play the whole game. I just can't play like the water levels. I can get all the other stars, but like it's not going to be the full 120 because I can't play those.
Wow, you're weird, dude.
Super weird.
All right, fill in the blank. I wish I wasn't scared to.
Uh, come back to me. Oh God.
Earl's not afraid of anything, folks.
No.
He's not scared of anything. All right, let's skip that
I'll
one.
come up with a good one.
Something you're obsessed with right now.
Something I've picked up this new like coffee obsession, and so I mean I've always kind of liked coffee, but especially during quarantine, like gone full like coffee. Bought like a home roasting machine, so now like I'm roasting my own coffee beans. Like if you ask my wife, I'd spend like at least an hour a day watching coffee videos on YouTube. Just like, yeah, it's kind of weird.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Something you hate that everyone else loves.
Ooh, something that I hate that everybody else loves. I'm not a huge fan of, well, I'm not a huge fan of tomatoes. I'm starting to eat them a lot more. Well, not a lot more. Like, I don't like actively take them out of my burgers anymore. So that's like the extent that I eat. But like a lot of, like for the longest time, I would just despise like even like the tomato residue got me like I don't want this.
Tomatoes. Oh
Yeah.
man. All right. Childhood celebrity crush.
Childhood celebrity crush. Michelle Branch.
Yeah, Michelle
Yeah.
Branch.
Michelle Branch. Yeah, I'll stick with that one.
Most rebellious thing you did as a teenager.
I used to take bribes from people to change their grades when I was a TA in high school. So
I remember that.
yeah, I would TA for specific classes and change their grades.
This
Sorry,
is
teachers.
this is a side note, but I was talking to my roommate about how we used to pitch in to buy a CD, like an album, and then
Oh yeah,
we would burn the CD for
yeah.
everyone.
So if we all put in $5, we can the four of us can buy 4 CDs, and then we all just burn copies of them. So we spend $5 to get 4 CDs. Yeah, this is a steal.
Business.
Yeah. Hello.
What's the scariest thing you've ever done?
The thing that pops up in my head immediately, like we went hiking in Yosemite and we were like on top of this like really fucking high cliff, and like I couldn't like really like scoot like towards the edge, and like we like butt scooted like all the way over there, but yeah, I was on top of like really high fucking like boulders and mountains and stuff. Yeah, I get anxiety thinking about it right now, actually.
All right, one thing you want to be remembered for.
Again, yeah, making sure like the fun event, the great like experience, the great like yeah, I want to have like positive like memories with folks. And so like some of their best times that they have, or like some of their most meaningful experiences, like I want to be a part of those.
Dope. All right, last question.
Okay.
If you had a time machine and you were able to go back into the past and change something, or talk to a specific person that you couldn't like tell something to, one, would you do it? And two, what would you change? Specifically for like, our group of friends, or people that
Uh,
we know.
yeah. Um, I would go back. Yeah, I would go back to like high school and tell people like how much I really cared about them. I feel like I didn't do that enough. And like, yeah, I wish I told people that I cared about them as much as I really do.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was a super Earl answer there.
Yeah, like very sweet. Yeah. It's a very Earl answer. Yeah.
I'm
Fuck.
so sweet.
I'm very on brand today.
Well, dude, this has been awesome. Like, it's nice to kind of take a break from talking about the industry and just really
Sure.
talk about like the really like real memories and growing up before we even knew who we were.
Yeah, dude. And like this is also obviously like a treat for me to like again be like a be a guest on your channel and on your show. And congrats to you and getting 10,000 subscribers. That's fucking wild. And so like it's crazy, dude. And so again, I mean, I've always been there, and again, I'm not shocked or surprised at any of this, but like I'm just going to continue to watch like you kind of grow as a person and grow within the industry. And looking forward to just seeing like really, really high quality, top notch stuff coming from you. And honestly, I don't expect anything less. So yeah, keep doing you, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. I'm still waiting for you and Vernon to have babies. So, all right, y'all. Well, this is Chris Boogie reminding you to lead with your heart and stand on love. Don't forget to follow if you're listening on Spotify, or subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And as the late, great Kobe Bryant once said, everything negative, pressure, challenges is all an opportunity for me to rise. Deuces.